And, like, there was just so much they could have done with Godzilla 2000 because he's considered as one of the most popular Godzilla designs out there. Quite literally, because he appeared a lot in the comic books. And it's just so ridiculous how Toho changed every single, well, not change, how they made every single Millennium film different from the last one, with the only two canon universes being Godzilla against Mechagodzilla and Tokyo SOS. Like, if I made the Millennium movies, I would make them all similar. And have those events that happened in said movies, like, for example, Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, Tokyo SOS, GMK, Godzilla Final Wars. I would make them all connected to Godzilla 2000 and not change the design, at least not that much. Sure, I might make Godzilla 2000 a bit taller and change the design, like add more spikes on his back, or possibly even elbow spikes, or even, just make the design how way I like to make the design. And besides ending it with Godzilla Final Wars, I would have continued the movies. I would have possibly continued the movie franchise. And expand it a bit further. So, yeah. What would you do if you could change anything about the Planet of the Monsters? If I could change anything about Planet of the Monsters, for one, I would make it for where Godzilla is active and he's hyper-aggressive. Because, well, seeing how the way he acted in the novelization, Godzilla Monster Apocalypse and Project Mechagodzilla, that guy was just hyper-aggressive. And knowing that the humans have returned, the humans from 20,000 years ago had returned, this will give Godzilla Earth a better reason to be hyper-aggressive. Secondly, I would make it where Godzilla Earth is not really made of plants. I would make it for where a part of him is, but the rest of him is a pure organism. I would make it for where we kind of get a glimpse of his backstory, for where he was once a dinosaur and he nearly died. But the plant was the one that, but there was this tree that basically saved him, and it granted him insane durability and incredible power. With that and with the nuclear bomb combined, it basically turned him into Godzilla Earth. And of course, I would make the movie live up to its name, because the only monsters that our heroes only encountered was Godzilla and Servum. I would make a lot of old kaiju make a comeback, and add in some few new monsters, besides having Servum being the only new kaiju in that movie. And lastly, I would not make Haru as this Eren Yeager ripoff. In fact, the whole Godzilla Revenge thing was just getting old, and I think I would not have Haru to be angry at Godzilla, but angry at humanity for basically backing off and leaving Earth to let Godzilla have it as his own. Well, he wouldn't be angry at Godzilla. I mean, sure, he will be, but not as this whole vengeful character that wants to kill Godzilla. Plus, Monster on Buddies mentioned that we don't know why Haru hates Godzilla more than everyone else. Like, really? Like some people would say that, oh, because Godzilla killed his parents. He killed literally everyone's parents, my dude. What makes you so special? And, like, yeah. And another common complaint that I heard from Monster on Buddies was basically how every single character looks the same. So I would obviously change the designs of the characters. So that's what I would change about Planet of the Monsters. What is your top 10 favorite RWBY characters? Well, the first two are obvious. Ruby and Oscar. The third one being Cinder, because she is the best villain, in my opinion. She's way better than Salem. Salem, let's be honest here, I don't like Salem. She's just stupid. Blake is number 4. I like Blake because she's actually cool. Let me see. Raven is number 5. For number 6, it's going to be Crow. Number 7, it's Winter. Number 8 and 9 is Summer and Ty. And lastly, my last favorite character is, of course, Neo. Last question. I'm not sure if you explained this, but since you were God of the Monsters watching your videos, not one was mentioned, or when you given the title of God of the Monsters. I honestly don't know why I kind of chose the God of the Monster part. I guess I was just looking for a way to find a new name for myself, because I was kind of afraid that naming myself Godzilla 2000 would probably be a problem, so that's why I didn't name myself Godzilla 2000, and I wanted to come up with something new, so, yeah. What was your idea to create the 6 Great Kings, which the ones that Gojira give positions to Heisei, Legendary, Ultima, Earth, Final Wars, and -1. Well, I liked how the way Earth, Ultima, Final Wars, Legendary, and Heisei were. They are basically considered as the strongest versions of Godzilla. And with -1 being the one for King of Monsters, I kind of knew that some people would be complaining how I didn't make one of the other Godzillas the king of something else. So I created the 6 Great Kings. So, yeah. So that way, Earth, Ultima, Legendary, Final and Heisei can still be kings, but just not the king. So, yeah. If you could create your own first kaiju in the MonsterVerse, what would it look like? I would probably create rather just an entirely new species of kaiju, or maybe a subspecies of Godzilla. No, not a kaiju that looks like Zilla, but maybe a monster that somewhat resembles like Godzilla, but it kind of resembles it's like G-Raz, basically. Like G-Raz basically is like Godzilla, but the only difference is it has a Dilophosaurus frill on its neck, on its head. Well, not frill, more like a weird, I guess you could say frill, yeah. But, like I said, I would make it where it doesn't look like Godzilla, but it does somewhat act like Godzilla. Or something else like that, you know? If not that, then I'll just create an entirely new species of kaiju, a species that is just like Godzilla, keeps the balance in nature, and Godzilla will consider those kaiju to be the only monsters besides the Mothra that he trusts as a worthy ally. What do you like about Zilla? I like how he was basically his own thing. He wasn't considered as a Godzilla, but he was considered as his own movie monster. And sure, a lot of fans may not like the character, but he holds a special place in my heart. And in my own headcanon, he and Godzilla are buddies. So without by me and Dinomania have something in common, because in her headcanon, Godzilla and Zilla are buddies. So, yeah. If Legendary does bring Bagan as the final boss, how do you think they will introduce him in the movie? I think they should introduce him as this ancient being that Shimo and the 9 great alpha kaijus, other alphas from different species, like maybe an ancestor of Godzilla, an ancestor of Mothra, Kong, and some of the other classic Toho monsters, if Legendary ever buys the rights to. They all teamed up, and they had to beat Bagan together because they knew that they can't stand a chance against them on their own. It's too powerful for them. And how the way he should make his grand return, I think Apex or the world government should basically awaken Bagan. And Godzilla has to unite all monsters in order to face this common threat. And I might have Godzilla die, I might not. And I think, it might be considered Godzilla's last fight. And I think that Legendary should have Godzilla Jr. to be the new Godzilla, but the new king of the monsters, basically. Somewhat of a reference to Godzilla vs. Destroya. So, yeah.